Hola, yo soy Charles Carter de ETSU, de East Tennessee State University, y en este segmento vamos a hablar sobre los días de la semana. We're going to learn about the days of the week. Por favor, abran en sus libros a la página 130. You will turn to page 130. You'll notice at the top of the page, in the orange box, there's a question. ¿Qué día es hoy? What do you think that asks? It asks, what day is today? Let's go over the days of the week as presented here. Repitan. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado y domingo. Now, what do you notice about the days as they're written here? One thing is they're not capitalized. In Spanish, unlike English, days of the week do not require a capital letter. What else do you notice? Which day is presented first? Lunes. In Hispanic society, Monday is normally considered the first day of the week. And Saturday and Sunday are part of the weekend, part of the fin de semana. If you were to see a calendar that has been printed in the Spanish-speaking country, the first day on the left-hand column will always be lunes, not Sunday, as we're used to in our country. If you look at the 5 days of the week, lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes. Notice that each one of them ends in an S. If you want to speak about a single specific day, use the article el. El lunes. Tenemos un examen. On Monday, we have a test. But if you want to talk about every Monday, if you want to talk about the day in the plural form, then simply use los, the plural article. Los lunes tenemos examen. And that would translate as on Monday we have an exam. On every Monday we have an exam. If you look at the last illustration, sábado and domingo do not end in S. If you want to talk about this coming Saturday, say el sábado. But if you want to talk about every Saturday, say los sábados, and make sábado plural by adding an S. And the same is true for domingo. If you look at the bottom of the page, we have a number of phrases that we need to review that will help us communicate days of the week and dates. Look at the first sentence. Repitan. Hoy es viernes. If you refer back to the question at the top of the page, ¿Qué día es hoy? What day is today? The proper response is, Hoy es. Today is. And then give the appropriate day. The next sentence. Mañana es. What does mañana mean? ¿Qué significa mañana? Mañana es tomorrow. Hoy es miércoles. Today is Wednesday. Mañana es jueves. Tomorrow is Thursday. The third sentence. Ayer fue martes. Ayer significa yesterday. It means yesterday. So this sentence says, yesterday was Tuesday. Now look at the next two phrases. El fin de semana. Repitan. El fin de semana. Literally, it means the end of the week. The weekend. And then we have pasado mañana. ¿Qué significa pasado? Literally, it's past. In English, we say the day after tomorrow. Hoy es miércoles. Today is Wednesday. Mañana es jueves. Tomorrow is Thursday. Y pasado mañana, the day after tomorrow, es viernes, is Friday. The last two phrases. El próximo. Próximo significa next in English. Próximo means next. And when we want to talk about next week, next Thursday, next weekend, we simply say el próximo jueves. Or la próxima semana. At the very bottom of the page, you have three little red blocks. And you can review this. We've already mentioned these in Spanish-speaking countries. The first day of the week usually is Monday. The days of the week are not capitalized in Spanish. And then except for sábado and domingo, all of the days use the same form for the plural and singular. Lunes, el lunes, los lunes. But sábado and domingo, we need to add an S if we want to talk about these days in the plural form. If you will look at the top of the next page, page 131, at the nota comunicativa, the little purple box. Very briefly, talking about expressing on a particular day. In Spanish, we use the definite article to express on a given day. Example, esta semana tengo que ir al mercado el lunes. This week I have to go to the market on Monday. A second example, por lo general voy al gimnasio los domingos. I generally go to the gym on Sundays. So if we want to talk again about a particular day, use el with the day of the week. If it's going to be multiple days, use los with the day of the week. And using el and los can be used to express on a given day. Now, if you will, pasen a la página 166. And we're going to continue with talking about time. We're going to look at the months of the year. Página 166, page 166. At the top of the page, in the little orange box, it says, los meses y las estaciones del año. Los meses, the months, y las estaciones del año, and the months of the year. Let's look at the 4 months first, starting at the top. Repitan. invierno. And going clockwise, la primavera. At the bottom, el verano. And lastly, el otoño. As you can see from the trees that are illustrated, el invierno refers to what season? It's winter. And then we follow clockwise the flowering trees, the tree that's all green, and then the multicolored tree that is losing its leaves. Invierno is winter. Primavera is spring. Verano, summer. And otoño is autumn or fall. Now, let's look at our months of the year. Repitan. Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre. Now, one thing that we have to be careful with, because most of these months are so similar to the English, we often get caught mispronouncing them. For example, we may say Mayo instead of Mayo, or we may say Junio instead of Junio. So let's be careful and remember that when we're saying these, to pronounce them in proper Spanish. Now, below the months and the seasons, we have several questions and phrases. Let's look at the first one. Repitan. ¿Cuál es la fecha de hoy? Or, ¿qué fecha es hoy? Both of these questions ask, what is today's date? Or, what is the date of today? Now, let's see how we respond to this. Whenever we want to give a date in Espanol, the formula that we're going to use is use el, followed by the number, followed by de, then the month, de, and then the year. Let's just pick a date. Let's say we're going to talk about the 4th of July of 2006. So we're talking about July 4, 2006. How would we say this in Espanol? We would say, hoy es, which is today is. Now, our article, el. And what is the number 4? Es el 4, followed by de. Then July is julio. Notice again, I did not capitalize the month. Months do not have to be capitalized, just like days of the week. Don't need to be capitalized. We'll follow this by de, and then the year, which is 2006. How do we say 2006? 2006. So whenever we want to give a date, the formula to remember is the number of month of year. It's the same thing basically that we do in English. Now, what if we want to add the day along with the date? What if I want to say that this July 4th, let's say, is on a Monday? What we normally do is say, hoy es lunes, comma, and we will drop the first el, the article. We simply say, hoy es lunes, 4 de julio, and continue on. So when we add a day to a date, it is not necessary to use the article el in front of the date itself. Okay. Let me remind you that when we talk about years, the years that follow 999 through 1999, we need to use the word mil for 1,000. In Espanol, we do not use 1999, we must say 1,999. So let me give you an example right here. In your book, at the bottom of the box, we have the date 1950. Now in English we simply say 1950, pero en español se dice 1000, and then 900, 950, 1950, not 1950. We have it a little easier now that we're into the 2000s. We simply say 2000, whatever. 2001, 2010, 2050. 2001, 2010, and hopefully all of you will reach 2050, 2050. Now, we can review what we've just gone over by looking at activities A at the bottom of page 166. There is a little poem that you should be very familiar with. It asks you to put the number for the equivalent in Spanish for what you've already learned as a child in English. And then activities B and C on page 167 will give you a good review for this information about dates.